As of recently, I've been seeing this Verzuz surface everywhere, and immediately when I seen it, I was like, this is damage control to the video that I made 2 years ago exposing Bill Cosby for being Birdman. All right, and not just that, this Verzuz is actually a double damage control because it also includes Master P, who's a character that I exposed 3 years ago. I exposed Master P for being Sade the Creator and many other characters. I recommend you guys go check out that video, including the fact that this was damage control to the video that I made about these two characters, Master P 3 years ago, Birdman 2 years ago. These characters also link together in gematria directly, so it was scripted for these two characters to go against each other in this Verzuz. So Master P matches to Birdman with 366 in the Latin and Sumerian cipher. This is a screenshot from my gematria calculator, gematriaworld.com. I recommend you guys go and get it, check it out. I'm also selling all of my ebooks and my 2026 numerology calendar on the website, so go check it out. It'll be linked down below in the description. So these two characters link together with the number 366, and that's crazy because Birdman is also in the group of characters of DJ Paul, who's from 36 Mafia, so that's a pretty crazy connection. Conscious X talked about this in one of his videos on Birdman. So here's a recent side-by-side comparison that I made of Bill Cosby and Birdman. In my last video about these two characters 2 years ago, I made a plethora of side-by-side comparisons. So for this one, I only made 2 or 3, and these two characters look so much alike. It is going to be hard for some people to see this, but if you really can see, you could see the similarities and how they're basically the same exact character, just different font. Now here's a crazy riddle, and I love doing riddles in my videos. Why would Bill Cosby have this, picture that is from an episode of Elmo, and he's with Big Bird, and later in the late 90s they're going to create a character off of Bill Cosby's image, and they're going to name him Birdman. And look at this, Bill Cosby is with Big Bird, right? And if we're looking at this from a literal stance, Big Bird is just a man playing a bird. So like Birdman, this is encoded messaging. You really have to wake up and understand this stuff. This is something that I did not point out in my last video. I'm always getting smarter, so I'm always noticing these new details. Bill Cosby and Birdman, both of their stage names start with a B, okay? Another thing, with their quote-unquote real names, Bill Cosby's real name, Bill, is just a nickname for the name William. So I was like, wow, does Birdman have any connections with William? And look at this, his name is Brian Christopher Williams. So they both have the William in their name, all right? He has it in the last name and he has it in the first name, okay? And that is very symbolic because he's his new character, and like he's, more low vibrational than Bill Cosby's character, even though he's really low vibrational. But I'm talking about career-wise. They do this a lot where they're polar opposites, and rappers are really low vibrational. When I typed in Birdman and Bill Cosby to find my video, I found this from 10 years ago where it's those old cartoon skits that were made about rappers, and this one included Birdman and Bill Cosby. I'm trying to tell you guys that things online are made by them. They're all involved, and they subliminally admit the truth to people. So it's already in your subconscious mind, but you'll reject it because of the narrative in which it was pushed. For an example, whatever this video is showing, it's going to show Bill Cosby and Birdman in a joking manner, even though they've presented to you guys them being together, the idea that, there's some type of correlation between the two. Even though they've presented that, they've presented it in a joking manner, so therefore the narrative is shifted. All right, and that's why it's important the way that I expose this stuff, because I'm reframing the narrative to let you guys know the truth, okay? To keep people in a dream state so much. And look at the time duration. It's 3 minutes and 30 seconds. That's 33. Come on. Bill Cosby matches to Brian Christopher Williams with 144 in reverse and reverse reduction cipher. Cosby matches to Brian, which is Birdman's first name, with 26 in the keypad cipher. And Bird, as in Birdman, matches to Lil Bill, which connects to Bill Cosby's show, Little Bill. and it matches to Cosby with 16. And look at how Lil Bill and Cosby match with 16 directly in the same cipher. And that's the name of his show. It was always scripted for him to have a cartoon with that title. Nothing is random with these characters, understand that. Brooks is actually Birdman's last name. He has 2 last names, but they've been changed, stuff like that. You know, they do this stuff for gematria purposes. Brooks matches to Lil Bill with 20 directly, and it matches to Bill C, which is Bill Cosby, with 20 also. Brian matches to Bird, and I found that interesting because Birdman's real name is Brian, and so for him to have the stage name Birdman, and the fact that his first name matches to the first part of his stage name shows that it was scripted. It matches with 24 in a single reduction cipher. So Birdman has a plethora of other names, and one of those names is Stunna, and Stunna just so happened to match to Bill Cosby with 26. His own nickname matches to his base character. And look at this. He was in the Verzuz as a format of damage control, and Verzuz matches to stunning because stunning is the adjective of stunna because he's just saying that he's a stunting person. They do this stuff on purpose. Anyway, Verzuz matches to stunning with 118 in the ordinal and 37 in the reduction cipher. And then again, this is not their first time doing damage control via Verzuz. They've done this a very long time ago to the Nicki Minaj and Shaka Khan video that I did, where after I did the video, everybody was telling me she's on the Verzuz, and I was confused. I didn't know what that was at the time, but it was getting very popular. And think about this. Verzuz matches to black people with 44 in the reduction and reverse reduction cipher. Now, I've already told you guys before, I have an entire docuseries on Patreon about the number 42 and 24, explaining that number and its correlation to black people and how associating yourself with black people, media, and just the whole concept of being black is connecting you to all this detrimental stuff because of the numerical influence that the word black people holds, all right? And I recommend you guys go and check out these very exceptional videos that dissect that number and explain why you should not be associating so much with your race, because it has a numerical value, which is also connected to so many things that they push on those particular people. Hence, the Verzuz is pushed on black people. And black people equal 44, and Verzuz equals 44. And then the way that it's spelled, Verzuz, the Z and the U's together looks like Zeus. Like, it reminds me of Zeus. Now, Verzuz matches to Financial Crash and The Matrix with 708. Things like the Verzuz and other media type of stuff like that is distractions from actual issues going on in society. They keep everybody coddled with things that do not even matter, and that is why knowing that these characters are fake is important, so you can wake up out of a dream state of caring about what these characters are pushing and have going on, because all they're doing is entertaining your mind, which is keeping your mind, distracted, not really focusing on deeper topics. You're just distracted. So what is the chances that the Verzuz took place October 25th, 2025? And 7 days from this Verzuz, the SNAP benefits were cut off, okay? November 1st, right? And Verzuz matches to Financial Crash, and then they cut the SNAP benefits 7 days after this Verzuz. And now we can get direct with this. The amount of seconds between the Verzuz and the day the SNAP benefits got cut has a numerology of 18, which is 9, and it's a 9-year. So all of this was scripted. And also the amount of minutes has a numerology of 18, which is 9. It's a 9-year, okay? I've been telling you guys about this 9-year. I had an entire video on Patreon, January 13th, where I explained what to expect in a 9-year. If we want to be more direct, including the end date, it's actually 8 days between the Verzuz and the day the SNAP benefits were cut. And 8 is really connected to this because the numerology of the Verzuz date, which is 10/25/2025, is 8 through the number 17. And it was a partial 7-day. And they've been doing a lot of WAR, predictive programming, and 7 is a number connected to that. Come on. There's all types of coding with this stuff. So Verzuz ironically also matches to the storm with 708. And I found that interesting because there's also been this hurricane called Melissa that a lot of you guys have been stressed about asking me about. To the code, I've already explained these weather events to you guys in the past, and it's just shocking that these distractions that they do are connected to events that happen in real life. Verzuz also equals 33 in a Chaldean cipher. That's ironic because orange equals 33 in a reduction cipher. But why am I pointing out orange? Well, look at this. On Google, if you ask when a Verzuz was, they put a default photo of Birdman and there's an orange background. Orange equals 33. Verzuz equals 33. Even how they list things online, it's all scripted, it's all coding. Birdman is currently 56 years old right now at the time of him doing this Verzuz and everything. 56 equals 708, which ironically matches to Verzuz. He was 56 when he did the Verzuz. And 56 spelled out matches to Verzuz. And not just that, 56 also matches to Financial Crash, The Storm, and The Matrix. And also this number 56, Church of Satan equals 56. 56 is like 33. I always tell you guys in the live streams that whenever a character is 33, either their other characters are going to be doing something or they're going to be doing something big. Well, it also happens when a character is 56. He's 56 and he has this whole Verzuz thing, and now all these people care about his character. And Bill Cosby's character actually also has been trending this year too, considering that the Malcolm Jamal Warner character is a death faker in this 9 year that we're in, and he was on the Bill Cosby show. So they've been doing a lot of damage control as of recently. So the Verzuz was on Saturday, October 25th at Complex Con. All right. Now that's a funny word, Complex Con, like this is a complex con, right? Anyway, so Complex Con equals 900 in a reverse Sumerian cipher. For the sake of this, these zeros have no value, so therefore that's 9. And they did this in a 9 year? Come on. And another thing, since we're on the topic of 9, Bill Cosby equals 99 in gematria. I just told you guys that he was trending this year because a character from one of his shows died, who played his son, ironically. And I've told you guys before, he is going to be a death faker very soon. Just a matter of time. And look at this. This is actually a screenshot from my last video where I screenshotted the fact that if you type in Bill Cosby and then put an S, it literally says Bill Cosby still alive. Why? You know, they do this stuff as subconscious programming and predictive programming also. And since we're on the topic of death, because Bill Cosby equals 99, he's going to be a death faker, of course, and he's been, you know, a little bit more active in this 9 year. We see that New Orleans, Louisiana, which is where Birdman is from, equals 83 in a reduction cipher. Murder equals 83 also, guys. Complex Con, complex. Let's look at this. Complex equals 88 in the ordinal cipher, 808 in the standard cipher, and 808 in the Latin ordinal cipher, right? The zeros in this case have no value, making all of that 88. Again, this complex word is connected to Birdman's character now because he was on the Verzuz and it took place at Complex Con, right? Bill Cosby is 88 years old right now. Why would Bill Cosby's other character be part of this Verzuz thing and it takes place in Complex Con in Las Vegas, right? And I bet there's Las Vegas connections with this. And complex equals 88 and Bill Cosby, who is Birdman's other character, is currently 88. So why would he go in there while his other character is 88? Because complex equals 88. It's crazy all the scripting that goes on here. Yes, guys, Bill Cosby and Birdman are the exact same, identical to each other. It's disgusting. But we see they just did damage control to the videos that I made. This one 2 years ago, the other one 3 years ago on Master P. And it's just ridiculous when they do damage control. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys check out the Patreon and make sure you guys check out the new website, gematriaworld.com. I appreciate you guys so much.